Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy MonsterDevour. On today's episode, we're going to be going over the top 5 best classes to use in Search and Destroy Modern Warfare. No fluff, no bullshit. We're going to get right into it. How we're going to do it is we're going to show a couple of clips with the weapon, and then we're going to get ready to the class setup, and then we're going to show a couple of clips with the next weapon, and then the class setup, and so on and so forth. As you guys can see up first, we do have the AS Val, the bully itself. I know you guys die to this gun. I know you guys hate dying to this gun. This isn't me telling you to spam the AS Val, but hey, you know what? If someone's using the AS Val against you, you got to do what you got to do, guys. You got to stand your ground. You got to put on this class, and you got to show them what is good. Now, this AS Val class just has absolutely zero recoil, and of course, I don't have to tell you guys anything about the time to kill on the AS Val already. We all know it's like literally #1 in the entire game. So hopping right to the class setup, we got the VLK 200mm OSA barrel. Don't use any of the other barrels. For dear Lord's sake, don't use any of the other barrels. It takes away the best time to kill in the game, which is what the VLK 200mm OSA uses. No matter what you do to this Val class setup, just make sure you have on that barrel, and then you should be pretty good. The 5MW laser, that way our gun comes down from sprinting really fast and gives us good hipfire accuracy. The VLK Strelok, this is going to give us recoil control, aiming stability, and aim walking steadiness. It's going to give you literally zero recoil. That's why I use this one instead of the Ranger foregrip. Next up, we got the stippled grip tape, guys. That's going to give us all the aim down sight speed that we need and really good sprint to fire speed as well. And then you're forced to use a 30-round mag because 20 bullets is just way not enough. It feels like it runs out so fast. 30-round mags is definitely necessary. Hopping ready to our next gun, guys. We got the AMAX. So the AS Val is really good at being super dominant up close, but the AMAX is kind of like the exact opposite. The AMAX is just super dominant, especially at super far ranges where people just don't have a good enough time to kill to compete with you. The AMAX's time to kill at a far range, especially like 40 meters and up, the AMAX just has such a clear advantage. Like, the best way to take out somebody using an AMAX is probably to like hard scope them off spawn if you can. But yeah, this AMAX just absolutely shreds. The one thing I really love about this AMAX is the hip fire is so good, and it bails me out of so many situations where I can't bring up my gun in time. Like, the gun just isn't that fast, but the hip fire is just so tight that it doesn't matter. Right here's a perfect example. I'm stim shotting, I take the guy down in like 3 bullets, and I only had like 5 bullets in the clip. Alrighty, hopping right into the gun class setup. Up first, we got the tactical suppressor, guys. Honestly, the barrel just gives such good damage range. You don't need the monolithic suppressor. So the tactical suppressor is a little bit better in my opinion, at least for multiplayer, because this way you can be more mobile and more competitive, like in close combat situations. I'm not worried about losing a 40-meter kill. I'm worried about losing a 10-meter kill. XRK Zodiac S440 damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control, and it gives you the nicest iron sights in my opinion as well. Definitely want to make sure you're using that. The 5MW laser for hip fire accuracy and sprint to fire speed. The XRK stippled wrap, this is going to give you aim down sight speed, which is really important, and really good sprint to fire speed. And then lastly, we got the Merc foregrip. This is going to give you recoil control and hip fire accuracy. Again, this is going to give you zero recoil on your AMAX, and it's going to make the hip fire super tight. Next up, we have the M4. So this is basically like if the AMAX and the AS Val had a baby. I believe that this is exactly what the M4 will be classified as, because the M4 can be super competitive and super dominant up close, but it also has that really low dependable recoil pattern that you can beam people across the map with. And as long as you're using the default M4 and you don't have a variant on it, the iron sights on the M4 is just so crisp and clean. When you start putting variants on it though, like the iron sights just start going all over the place. I know I got the pink tracers and like the red tracers and like the American tracers, but all those iron sights really suck in my opinion. So you get the most out of your M4 when you're not using a sight on it and you're using the default iron sights. That's like my biggest tip for the M4. But we're gonna go ahead and hop right into the gun class setup now, guys. Up first, we do have the monolithic suppressor. This is really important because we do want to increase that damage range, and we do want to make sure that we are staying off the radar as well. The Corvus Custom Marksman barrel for damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. Now, sometimes on like Arklov and Granza, I'll switch to the Grenadier if I feel like I need a little bit extra range, but for the most part, the Corvus Custom Marksman gets the job done really well, and it won't hurt your mobility as much as the Grenadier barrel will. Up next, we do have that 5MW laser, again for really good hip fire accuracy and super good sprint to fire speed. That way our gun comes down and is ready for a battle as quickly as possible. And then we do have the stippled grip tape. We need this for aim down sight speed, and then it's going to give us that additional sprint to fire speed as well. That's what makes this gun so balanced. and then you can use the 60. I feel like in Search and Destroy, the 50 round mags is perfect, but I know some people that still need the 60. 50 or 60, either one is up to you. They're both really good. Now, up next, we have my personal baby, guys, the AK-74U, or, you know, whatever, mini AK, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people are sleeping on this gun, guys. I don't know what happened to it, or if it's just this class setup that just feels so good, but as you can see, people are just melting, guys. I'm hip firing everything. We're dropping like a 7 kill feed right now, just absolute insanity. The AK-74U is so slept on, guys. If you're gonna try one of these class setups today, make sure you try this class setup. And if you do happen to have the Golden Dragon variant and you got Damascus or gold or platinum, then you can use the Golden Dragon variant in unison with one of the master camos, and it just makes the camo look so sick. This is undoubtedly, in my mind, probably one of the sexiest guns in the game, and I just love how mobile it is, guys. I'm flying all over the map. I literally feel like I'm using a no-stock MP5, but it's an assault rifle, so we just have super good mobility, but we also have that potential for like far off kills that the MP5, you know, would kind of struggle at. Of course, there is a little bit more recoil involved, but as soon as you can control this recoil using the Merc foregrip and the rest of the setup that we have, you guys are going to see this class setup absolutely start melting kids. So up first, we do have the monolithic suppressor. This is super important. You do need to increase that damage range, and you do want to make sure we're staying off the radar as well. And then the AK-74U, you got to use the compact barrel. So the 8.1 inch compact barrel, it's going to give us aim down sight speed and movement speed. We're going to use the 5 MW laser again for really super tight hip fire accuracy and good sprint to fire speed. The skeleton stock, I don't want to use the no stock because the no stock would make it super recoily, so skeleton stock for me works out the best. And then the Merc foregrip, this is going to control our recoil, and it's going to give us super tight hip fire accuracy. As you guys saw on Vacant, it was just absolutely spraying down everything. And then up last, guys, we do have the Uzi. The Uzi is just absolutely slept on, and like I've seen a couple of people rocking this class setup, but I still see a lot of people using the monolithic suppressor. But honestly, like when I pull out my Uzi and then they die to my Uzi, they're like, why are you using a tactical suppressor? Why are you using a tactical suppressor? It's because the FSS Carbine Pro barrel is just like the AMAX Zodiac barrel. It gives the gun so much good damage range already. You don't need the added like 10 meters that's only going to help you past 50-meter kill shots, because even if you're using a Uzi with a blue dot on it like I am, normally the farthest kills you're going to get is like 40 meters away. Alright, so hopping right to the gun class setup, we literally got the tactical suppressor there just to keep us off the radar. That's all we need. So the main important thing that you need is the FSS Carbine Pro barrel. This is going to increase your damage range, bullet velocity, and give you recoil control. This barrel really does it all. If you're not using this barrel, you're definitely not even using the Uzi, in my opinion. 5 MW laser, again, for super good hip fire accuracy and really good sprint to fire speed, which is important when you're using a submachine gun. The GI Mini Reflex, this really helps you maximize how good the Uzi range is, because if you're using the iron sights, no matter what iron sights you're using, honestly, it's hard to hit those 30-meter shots away, but the Uzi's damage range kills at 30 meters away really easily. Lastly, we got the .41 AE 32 round mags. And then for our last class setup, I know this is like more than 5, it's 6. But, you know, any class setup, like any top 5, would be a cap without the MP5. So I'm putting the MP5 in like its own separate god tier category. Unfortunately, right now, at the moment, sleight of hand is broken. This is what my normal MP5 class setup would look like. But until sleight of hand gets fixed, I'm using the 5 MW instead of sleight of hand. So we got the monolithic integral suppressor on there, the 5 MW laser, the FTAC collapsible stock, the 45 round mags, and lastly, we got the Ranger foregrip. I do really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. That's going to be all for me. If you guys want to stalk me over on Twitter, that's going to be @DevourMoss. I'm always posting stuff over there. GG's, guys.